When I don't like your attitude, you're fired. I was declared so by the president's wife, Mary, and I obediently complied. However, quitting my job would put me in a financial bind. That's when a brilliant idea struck me. Are you sure about this? Mary mocked me as I said that. After returning home, I immediately scheduled a meeting with a rival company. And as a result of joining the rival company as a top salesperson, I made a comeback. I'm Paula, 35 years old. I'm not married and don't have children. I have a boyfriend, but I don't plan on marrying him. We live together but manage our finances separately. I work in sales at my company. I was deeply captivated by sales as soon as I joined. I believe I have a fair amount of sales talent. This confidence started with the Rookie of the Year award in my first year. Since then, I've consistently been the top performer, surpassing all my peers. I maintain the best record in the company and no one has yet surpassed my past achievements. My status in the company has significantly changed over time. Now recognized by the president, I'm invited to important meetings to share my opinions. I'm proud of that. One day, I heard the president got married. She was 17 years younger than the president and apparently used to be an actress. Her name is Mary. I thought I might have seen her on TV. The president seemed completely smitten with Mary. I immediately conveyed my congratulations to him. He was pleased and invited me to their wedding. Mary looked confident and admirable at the wedding, but after she joined the company, my impression of her changed drastically. She started acting as she pleased, using the president's name as a shield. Mary joined the company last month. The president appointed me to mentor Mary in the techniques I knew. In other words, I became Mary's supervisor. He wanted to make her vice president and valued my contribution to the company. I was nervous about this sudden responsibility, but also felt recognized. On Mary's first day, I introduced her to my clients after a polite introduction. Her demeanor was perfect, fitting for an actress. I thought she might be a great asset. But that impression quickly faded. I don't want to go to sales anymore. What? She said this a week into the job. Claiming she didn't need to do sales as she was becoming a vice president, she refused to go out. Why is that? Did something unpleasant happen? It's because the sun is too strong. What? I couldn't believe my ears, but it wasn't a misunderstanding. Mary, with a disgruntled face, began to complain. I used to be an actress, you know. I never had to walk around town in the sun sweating. It's how I maintained my beauty. Besides, the president likes me this way. That's why I want to keep my beauty for him. Her reasons seemed plausible, but Mary was no longer an actress and needed to endure some discomforts for beauty. There are many ways to protect against sunburn now, but Mary stubbornly refused them all. I told her that with this attitude, she couldn't work, but Mary just scowled at me. I persisted, explaining that as a salespeople, we have to go outside to work, but Mary wouldn't listen. Paula, you're lucky you don't have to worry about looks. And you're older anyway, but from my perspective, you should be the one concerned about your age. Aren't you unmarried because you don't pay attention to your appearance? You should focus more on self-improvement. Then she gave such absurd advice and, with a deep sigh, said she envied my carefree attitude. I was irritated, but arguing over such trivialities was a waste of time. I couldn't ignore Mary, so reluctantly I left her with some simple office tasks and went out for sales alone. At that time, I just thought she was in a bad mood, but Mary's tyrannical behavior escalated from that day. Unknowingly, something shocking was about to happen to me. The next day, when I arrived at the office, the other employees seemed confused. Turns out Mary had suddenly proposed a new system. It involved conducting all businesses through her. Shocked, I asked what it meant, and Mary, looking smug, stared at me. I'm going to be vice president, so I thought it'd be good to understand all operations. I suggested it to the president and he approved, so everyone will work through me now. You've been told to cooperate with me by the president, right, Paula? I was astonished by Mary's words, but if the president approved, we couldn't resist. I reluctantly accepted Mary's request. Then Mary took an even more surprising action. This happened that very morning. Mary, as usual, didn't want to go to sales, and I was left to do it alone. But I saw her call our department head, Jamie, saying she needed to talk. Wondering what it was about, I left for a client meeting. When I returned that afternoon, I encountered a shocking scene. What? Mary? What are you doing? That's Jamie's seat. Mary was sitting in Jamie's chair, acting like a boss. When I asked Jamie, Mary proudly said she had told him to resign. Demanding an explanation, Mary confidently declared, I am becoming vice president. I deserve a seat like this. Besides, we'll be working through me now, so Jamie is unnecessary. I'm practically the department head. What will the president say about this? He won't complain to me, and Jamie resigned. He said he's leaving the company himself, so it's none of my concern. Mary's malicious smile left me speechless. After taking over Jamie's seat, Mary began to berate anyone not aligning with her wishes. The department was frustrated with her tyranny, but no one dared speak up for fear of her threatening to tell the president. This situation lasted a month. Mary's whimsical approval of operations hindered our work. Her mood dictated whether things went smoothly or not, and she often dumped the hassle on me. I ended up with extra work, unable to spend time with clients as before. My performance dropped to half its usual. This was a serious problem. As I had the most clients in the company, my performance directly impacted the company's success. I delegated tasks to other departments when possible, but there were assignments directly from the president I couldn't pass on. If we fell behind our rivals, it would affect the company's reputation. Amid these thoughts, Mary summoned me. She wanted me to handle a guest she was supposed to meet. I complied and took care of the guest in her stead. Upon returning to the department, Mary summoned me again. This time, she ordered me to handle her menial tasks. She was just drinking coffee and playing with her phone, so I wished she would do them herself. With another client meeting pending, I politely declined the menial tasks. Choosing my words carefully, Mary turned, raising an eyebrow. Are you saying you won't follow my orders? Not at all. I just think you can handle these yourself, so I'll prioritize my other work. Is that work more important than what the future vice president asks? Do you understand your position? Mary glared at me with a displeased look. It seemed she was in a particularly bad mood today. I felt utterly annoyed at being tangled up in her unreasonable complaints. Maybe my irritation showed on my face because Mary shouted in anger. You always do this. Do you still think of me as a subordinate? Just so you know, our positions have long since reversed. I hate being looked down upon the most. Just listen to what I say. I was appalled by Mary's irrational behavior. Scowling at me, she belittled and insulted me before leaving the department, saying she felt sick. After she left, I finished the menial tasks she had asked of me and hurried to my client. That evening, I was summoned by Mary to the conference room. The appointed time had long passed, but Mary entered with an air of confidence. She started by saying she had something important to discuss. Thinking I had chosen my words carefully, Mary turned to me with a raised eyebrow. I don't like your attitude, so you're fired. I was utterly shocked at Mary's declaration. What authority did she have to say such a thing? Seeing my confusion, Mary smiled smugly. If you don't like it, obey me. Even if you are the president's favorite, I can easily get you fired. Mary laughed triumphantly. Stunned by this unexpected turn, I realized that obeying Mary would only lead to terrible treatment. Despite the president's request, I was beginning to feel like being manipulated by Mary was unacceptable. However, quitting would mean financial struggles. That's when a brilliant idea struck me. Are you sure about this? Mary mocked me as I said that. I sighed at her attitude. Understood. Huh? Surprised at my response, I decided to comply. Are you really quitting? You said it, didn't you? But I said you could stay if you obeyed, right? You're firing me because you don't need me, right? Then I'll quit. Mary seemed utterly taken aback by my response, speechless. I told Mary I would clear my desk and left the conference room. Glancing back as I closed the door, I saw Mary standing there dumbfounded. When I started cleaning my desk, colleagues who had heard the rumors gathered around. Are you really quitting? What did Mary say to you? The department can't function without you, Paula. My colleagues expressed their regret at my departure, but having already declared my resignation, I couldn't stay. I quickly said my goodbyes, told them my work was ready for transition, and advised them to check my computer later. I promised to be available for consultation if they called and then left the company. On my way home, I called Jamie. After exchanging current information with Jamie, I immediately set up a meeting with a rival company upon reaching home. The next day, my new job was with a rival company of my former employer. Jamie, now my boss, and I were about to embark on many sales ventures together. The president of the rival company warmly welcomed us and even expressed his expectations. My boss seemed revitalized by returning to fieldwork. It feels like old times. I always admired you as a department head, Jamie. Hey, I'm not a department head anymore. Right. Sorry about that. As we exchanged light-hearted banter and approached the company's front desk, we noticed something amiss. Wondering what was happening, my surprise grew upon seeing the woman at the reception. What are you doing here, Mary? There you are, Paula. Come back to our company right now. Huh? I invited an agitated Mary to a guest room to calm her down, asking Jamie to join us despite the inconvenience. I asked Jamie to join me despite the inconvenience. Everything's a mess. Mary had been ranting like this since she started talking. Since she insisted I return to the company immediately, I asked Mary why, considering she had fired me. Then Mary shared what happened after yesterday. Minutes after I left the company, the president rushed into the department. Apparently, an HR employee had reported my departure. He was questioning and visibly upset with the other employees. Mary then explained the situation. I told her to quit because she always resisted me, and she quit just like that. She must be too proud and impatient. How can we improve efficiency with someone like that around? I made things clear, so don't worry. Mary seemed to think she did the right thing in firing me. She even believed that her personality traits would reveal to the president that he was being deceived. However, the president yelled at Mary. What have you done? Are you trying to ruin my company? Huh? Mary was shocked, having been yelled at for the first time. She had never been scolded before, no matter what she did. She confronted the president, suspecting him of infidelity. The president scolded Mary. He elaborated on how much I contributed to the company and declared he wouldn't let her be involved in business matters anymore for pushing out a valuable employee. Wait, aren't you going to make me vice president? Why would I make someone who doesn't listen to others and acts unilaterally on important matters a vice president? I was happy Mary took an interest in the company. I wanted her to learn skills from Paula, but why did she do this? The president was distressed, holding his head. He even heard that I joined a rival company and was despairing that his company would now fall behind significantly. Unaware of my vital role, Mary was held responsible for letting me go. Mary was furious, but the president's anger was even more intense. He apologized to all employees present, tears in his eyes. The employee said it's not the president's fault and blamed Mary. Still, the president felt responsible, saying it would be his fault if the company failed because Mary was his family. The situation was calmed by the president's secretary. The secretary hastily approached and managed to take the president away for the moment. Although the secretary reassured him that the company wouldn't collapse so easily, the president seemed anxious, worried that a rapid decline in performance would lead to a loss of trust and the company's inability to function. I did it for the best. Now he even said he'll divorce me. If you return to the company, I won't have to get divorced. So come back right now. Hearing this, I exchanged glances with Jamie, who was beside me. Then I denied her request, stating it was impossible. To Mary's howling question of why, I explained that we had our positions in this company to consider. Just because you have transferred, what position do you think you have? An ordinary employee acting all high and mighty? Just come back. Annoyed by Mary's words, we decided to enlighten her about our current positions. Unfortunately, I am now a division head at this company. My boss here, who was a department head at your place, is now an executive officer here. We're not in positions to be easily discarded. Hearing this, Mary gasped in disbelief, looking at us. What do you mean? How can you be in management positions just after transferring? We are listed as transfers, but in reality, we were headhunted. What? We had offers for a long time, but we declined because of our gratitude to your company. However, after you came and we were dismissed, we lost our place. We approached this company's president, and as a result, we were welcomed with great treatment. Mary was dumbfounded at my calm explanation. Jamie and I looked at her coldly. That's why we can't and won't return. You should face your own responsibilities instead of staying here. How can you abandon me? You abandoned us first. Mary turned pale, shocked by my words. Seeing her face, I felt slightly relieved. After being treated so badly and overworked, it seemed fair to be a bit harsh. Unsatisfied, Mary leaned towards me, trying to intimidate. Why refuse when I'm telling you to come back? You owe my husband's company, don't you? The president is competent. He can maintain performance even without us. We do feel in debt to him, but you took away the chance to repay that debt. But thanking her please wouldn't sway me. Mary turned to Jamie, but Jamie, like me, firmly refused to return. Mary persisted, offering good positions in her company, but we steadfastly declined. The president of the rival company who took us in when we were lost is our benefactor now. We regretted leaving our former president, but decided to repay our new company's kindness with results. So please take responsibility for what just happened. That's how you show sincerity to the president. No, I don't want a divorce. Since you said I can return, can't you stop the divorce? You are my subordinate, so you should take responsibility, right? Haven't you said our positions have long reversed? That was just in the heat of the moment. Mary faltered in her words. I sarcastically told her it would be nice if you could handle it with the vice president's authority. Mary's face twisted in frustration at my words. Finally exasperated with Mary's refusal to leave, we called security. We asked her to leave with the guards. After all, it was her fault and she should stop avoiding it and decide her future with the president. You have ruined my life. Cornered, Mary tried to blame me for everything. Her irresponsibility was almost refreshing. I told her she could hold a grudge if she wanted, but to never involve me again. Afterward, Mary got divorced. Being a former actress, her story even made it to the tabloids. Her irresponsible and aggressive behavior was hidden, and she was labeled as a villainess trying to take over the company. Once a glamorous former actress, Mary was now viewed with disdain. After the story broke, she was constantly pursued by reporters. She became depressed, always suspected of all intentions in every action and word. Rumors said she would soon go abroad, unlikely to return until things cooled down. Meanwhile, I was significantly boosting performance at my new company with Jamie. Our true skills shone in the field, not just because of our positions. I actually pursued sales opportunities while simultaneously developing a system to fulfill my role efficiently. As a result, the company's management improved and continued to ascend. The president was pleased and I was satisfied with my new life stage. My former company, just as I believe, recovered from its temporary slump. Thanks to being seen as a victim, its performance improved remarkably. The president was truly capable. Now we are good rivals competing with each other.